It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day, and it's happening. I am inspired to reinvent this courtyard flower bed. Oh, once again. How many iterations has this been through over the years that you've been with me? Too many to count. I spent literally like 2 hours pulling out this rock and cleaning, well, first almost a whole bucket of aeonium leaves first, then pulling out and sorting the rock. Over the years, I've just added rock on top of rock on top of rock. I've got Southwest Brown, 3/4 inch black lava, burgundy cinders, and mixed beach pebble. So after a couple of hours, I realized that I was bordering on insane. So I stopped sorting pebbles out of here. There will be some casualties, but that's okay. The rock that gets mixed into the soil will just be wonderful for drainage and add micronutrients over time. So there's always, the glass is always half full, isn't it? So these aeoniums, love, hate, you know, they look great in the winter, great in the early spring. It is now the middle of July, and it's just, they're just going to go downhill from here. And by October, they're going to look so bad. So before that happens this year, I'm going to pull these out and I'm going to move them to the back garden where I'll underplant, use them to underplant against my prison wall and over along the fence where the roses are, and just in places where they won't be blasted with the sun. And in an environment where they're cooler all day and given a little bit of shade, they don't go hardcore dormant. They'll stay somewhat active, which is the look I want because I've got some really, really pretty ones. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull these out. I mean, look how shallow rooted they are because they've been put back in as cuttings dozens of times over the years. So, you know, here you go. It's already looking better, isn't it? Oh, this is exciting. Wait till you see what I am going to do. I've been waiting. You know, you guys have had some really good ideas for me, and I've loved all your ideas. But, you know, you can only do one thing until you figure out something else to do. So I didn't really want to put a pot in here. I want to work with the plants in the ground, and we've talked about this. You know, the footings for the courtyard come out really far, so there's not much depth of soil with which to work with. So your ideas of, you know, putting in a pot are really, really good, but I think I'm going to be okay with the idea that I've come up with. I was inspired by a plant that was a cast off from a client, and I rescued it. And then when I got it home, I realized, oh my gosh, this would be perfect in that courtyard planter. So this Aloe Cameronii that's right here, it's great here, and there's no reason why it couldn't stay. But it's not enough to really own the space by itself. So I will be moving it to another spot or gifting it to a client because I've got a lot of Cameronii. This is my favorite aloe, and this is a really beautiful specimen. Yeah, this was put in here as a cutting not that long ago, and you can see that it's just started, you know, throwing off roots. All right, I won't go too far down the rabbit hole of cleaning this right now. I will just set the Cameronii aside with the aeoniums. And, you know, as far as these little flanking areas, I've got this little aloe vera broken pot here with some extremely desiccated fret ives in it. I've got some graptopetalum ghosty cuttings that I pulled out of the grapefruit pot in the back that I'm going to put in there in the place of these. This is what right plant, wrong spot looks like. These are fret ives. Look how desiccated they are. Look at how the leaves are all, you know, wrinkled, and they're just struggling. I had put these in here as cuttings at some point. They are starting to throw off a lot of roots, but there's just not enough to support the plant at this time of year. So these will go in the ICU, and I'll put in these nice, fat, plump graptos in place of them. But we'll do that at the end. Now over here on this side, I've got a little bit of Crosby's Compact Crassula and some cute little aeoniums. And see how the Crassula kind of shades these guys? So I might go ahead and just let that ride. We'll see. I'm not going to make a decision right this hot second. First, I'm going to show you the plant that is going in here. Try to get all this cleaned out. It's a really nice piece of cinder. Put it over there. Okay. I'm going to add some soil, make a little mound so that I don't have to dig. That feels good. Okay, open it up. And pop in my poor adopted plant that was a cast off. Ready? Here it is. This is like a potatorum, and it may even be agave potatorum. I don't know. It's really big, but oh my gosh, it's cool. I am such a sucker for plants that are well behaved and don't get as big as an SUV. And this guy checks all the boxes. And I thought, you know, with this low habit, you know, it was spreading and staying low in time, this plant could really own it in here. So I will trim up some of these little roots because I don't want to dig that deep because I'm lazy. Okay, so here we have soil that is a little bit damp. I mean, just a skosh damp. It's not wet by any stretch of the imagination. My gosh, Laura, stop. Stop with the pebbles. Stop with the rocks. Girl, you cannot spend all day sorting rocks. Okay, I'm done. So I think, you know, with this much of a little root system, just popping it in here and then pushing the soil underneath. I want to give it the best chance. So by pushing the soil underneath, I'm eliminating air pockets so that it won't dry out. This is summertime, so we don't want this to happen to this. I want to make sure that those roots get enough, stay cool enough, and stay wet enough that they don't fail the plant. Okay. All right. Okay. It's well, you know, I'm having a little bit of hives here because I like it, but it needs something more, doesn't it? Now, I don't like that Crosby's Compact. Now it just looks leggy and weird. So I'm going to pull out the Crosby's Compact. Oh dear, grabbed an aeonium. Don't hate that, because we've got a few aeoniums left over here in the broken Talavera. So it's looking better to me. I don't know that I really necessarily hated the Crosby's right there. I think it was just a little too leggy. So this being the tough plant that it is, I'll go ahead and pop this in as a cutting. If your succulent stands up, yes, you've done your job. Okay. All right. Yes, I like that better. It's much better. I'm going to take this little, or I should say this bigger piece of cinder and stick it right here. Okay. I like to work really clean too. Oh, these wires that you see, these are for the lights. That's low voltage, so we'll let that alone. Let's see. Okay, all right. I'm glad I mounded a little bit. I'm going to take one lucky aeonium, shady spot, stick it right here, kind of finish that. Yeah, that's cute. And then I'm going to take some soil, throw it in my broken Talavera, because it's a little light. Okay, now with that nice loamy, cool soil, I gotta take these off to do this work though. I'm gonna take these graptos and I'm gonna limb them up a little bit. These leaves are great for propagation. I've got, next Walkabout Wednesday, I'll show you how my little leaf props are doing around the side. But you wanna create a little bit of a stem so that your succulent stands up. So we'll stick that one right there. And this one up. Okay. This one's really, really cute. It's got a little offshoot. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 little offshoots on it. Very adorable. And I'll put it right here. So that just fleshed that little thing right on out, didn't it? Okay, now let's go ahead and work our rock back in. I've got to be careful because I don't have enough of any one kind to do the whole thing. So back here I still have some black cinder and some burgundy cinder. So, oh my gosh, then I've got a little bit of the mixed beach over here. Good grief. No rhyme, no reason, making me nuts. Okay, so let's go ahead and go with that, shall we? We can add more black in the back. I'm going heavier at this corner, and then it gets a little narrower as it goes back. This is just a subjective, artistic decision. You do you. Okay. All right, you just, at the end of the day, you want everything to look intentional. I've got mostly mixed beech, so I'll save that for last. Let's now roll in some of these cinders, the burgundy cinders, next. This is like cooking a Thanksgiving meal. You know, you spend all day cooking and then the family sits down and 20 minutes later everybody's ready for pie. I spent hours on these rocks and in a matter of minutes I'm going to have them all put back. But man, it sure does look a lot better. Oh my gosh, what a hot mess this was. And it was extremely rewarding. I had fun. Okay. All right. Then I have Southwest Brown, which is similar to the burgundy, but not quite. This is a volcanic rock, and this is a crushed boulder. So I'm going to put the Southwest Brown back there. Don't worry, when I'm done, Greg will get up and show you how it looks from a different perspective, or from my perspective. Oh gosh, guys, thank you so much for your subscriptions too. We are hovering, we are circling around 92,000. We've almost crossed over. Very, very exciting. Thank you for that. Okay, now hopefully I will have enough of this mixed beech to finish this. If I don't, we'll have to turn this into a two-parter. So what do you think? You think I'm going to have enough? Let's find out. So because this is a really super tough agave, I'm going to water this. I'm not going to be afraid to put some water on it because I did plant it with roots too. So it's going to get a drink. I will avoid getting, you know, the cuttings wet for a while. I want those to harden off. And you know, you can harden off your cuttings first and then put them in dry soil, or you can just put them in dry soil and they'll harden off on their own. Here in San Diego, I can get away with that because it never rains, so I don't have to concern myself with the soil getting wet. Sunburn. Good question, Greg. This, right now, it's pretty much the hottest part of the day, and you can see that this little corner is starting to move into the shade. So I'm not too concerned about the graptos burning, nor am I too concerned about the aeonium cutting burning. Same thing. This is a little bit protected. This is the hot spot right here. So, you know, to follow up on that, this little microclimate, which is about 3 feet, I've got at least 3, maybe 4 microclimates just in this spot right here. And you need to be mindful of that. You've got to make sure that your more sensitive plants are in areas that have the most protection and that your tougher ones are taking on the full hot heat of the day. Oh, I think we're going to make it. We are going to make it. I am so blessed. I mean, be able to go a little bit thick here. Okay, maybe not, but at least no dirt's going to be showing. And there, you know, yes, this was like a 15-minute deal, but let's not forget about the 2 hours of prepping that went into this. But that's okay. What an incredible difference that made. And this bed is now going to be a lot more sustainable. I'm not going to have to look at it again next year and go, ugh, what am I going to do with all these aeoniums? By next year, this agave hopefully will have doubled in size, And in time, like I said, I'm kind of hoping it, you know, sort of fills out this bed, and we'll see. You know, we'll live with this for a while, and who knows, maybe we'll add more things or make some edits. That's the beauty of these plants. Closest thing to plastic in the horticultural world. So you can move them around at your discretion. Okay, Greg, let's show our friends what we have accomplished. And then look at all this. I mean, let's not forget about this gorgeous Cameronii and these aeoniums that I'm going to get to rehome. That's also very, very exciting. So yeah, that looks great. Really happy with that. Very, very cute. Then if you look over here to the right, Greg, this will be our next project. I know these aeoniums don't look too hideous yet, but give it another couple of weeks and they're just going to be toast. Ugh, so you can see, again, all of the dead leaves. You know, this little aloe in here is just, I don't know, kind of weird. I do have a couple of boulders in this bed. So, yeah, we'll have fun. We'll figure something out when we're inspired, and we'll make some changes in this one too. Alrighty then. So I guess that's it for this succulent tip of the day. I hope you were all inspired to go out and do a little magic in your own gardens. This has been Laura of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. Bye, guys.